Hi, my name's Steph and I'd like to talk to you today about housing disrepair. This video is aimed at tenants in social housing. If you're enduring difficult living conditions in your rented home, this video is for you. I understand what you are enduring. I too have lived in morbid conditions. I was oblivious to my rights and I endured horrific conditions for far too long. If this video reaches just one person and helps the living conditions and mental health of just one person, I would have achieved my aim. When we think of the law, we often think about getting into trouble, but the law is there to protect us all equally and to intervene where our rights are not being adhered to. The law was devised to protect us all, and as a tenant, you have a right and are owed a duty of care by your housing provider. When your home provider breaches their tenancy agreement, and if you are unable to enjoy your home in a safe and normal manner, the law is there to get the necessary repairs done and the justice and compensation that you deserve. Most social landlords do fix repair problems as soon as they're aware of them, but that isn't always the case. If you live in any of these housing authorities, trusts or organisations and are having issues with lack of repairs, then please continue to watch this video and I will assist you to be heard. In 2020, I made a claim successfully suing my housing association. I'd made call after call, sent email after email, year after year, only to be fobbed off and ignored. I felt isolated, frustrated, unheard, ignored, and at times defeated and depressed. My health was suffering, and I just didn't have the energy to fight them anymore. I had no knowledge of the law, and I sincerely believed that I'd run out of options until I discovered the Homes Fitness for Habitation Act 2018, which requires that residential rented accommodation is provided and maintained in a state for human habitation at the time of rental and during the rental period. A rented property in need of repair to be safe and suitable for occupation by a tenant is said to be in a state of disrepair. Your landlord is obliged to repair and maintain your home to prevent personal injury and damage to your property caused by defects in your home. If you're living in a substandard property, you have the right to make a claim. Everyone has the right to live in a rented property in a safe and comfortable condition. Your landlord has the legal obligation to maintain your home to a reasonable standard as implied by the terms in your tenancy agreement. These terms cannot be removed through your tenancy agreement, and your landlord may not charge you for any repairs. It is their responsibility as the homeowner. If you are living in a substandard property, you might have the right to make a claim. I know how frustrating it can be to live in uncomfortable, unbearable, and at times deadly conditions in rented accommodation. I lived in pain in an uninhabitable housing association accommodation, which was allocated to me with windows falling out and a heating system that never worked. But I was unaware of my rights, which was what has inspired me to make this video. You will be compensated for pain and suffering, loss of amenities, and for the inconvenience and distress caused by having to live in poor living conditions. Compensation is often calculated by your rent. You will receive a percentage of your rent paid, limited to a 6-year period, whether you pay rent yourself or whether you receive housing benefit. Your landlord is responsible for all structural repairs to your home, including drains, gutters and external pipes, brickworks, failed windows, external doors, water leaks, vermin infestation, damp and mould, and all the installations of your property, including heating, gas, hot water, sinks, baths and sanitary conveniences. When reporting and chasing up repairs, you must remain calm and polite. No matter how frustrated you feel when communicating with your repair team, do not become irate. Should you make complaints by phone, it is important to back up your conversations in writing. Email, in my opinion, is the best form of communication. Your housing authority cannot deny that you have reported the problem and you have records of all communication, dates, responses and lack of responses, which is very important evidence should you take legal action. Keep photographic evidence where necessary to show the worsening of the problem. Keep belongings or take photos of belongings that have been damaged due to the disrepair, and keep receipts of items that you've had to replace and any items of soft furnishings or clothes that were damaged by a mould. Keep a note of all medical visits and all evidence that you have from a surveyor or an environmental health officer. Having gone through these channels to no avail, it's time to seek professional help. There are two ways to make a housing disrepair dispute. The first way is to contact a no-win, no-fee lawyer who, should you meet the requirements for the grounds to sue your landlord for housing disrepair, will contact your landlord on your behalf to get your repairs done and to itemise compensation for the loss of possessions, personal injury, loss of amenity, contribution to ill health, duration of sufferance, which is limited to 6 years, and will be calculated by a percentage of rent paid during the time of disrepair. Loss of goods will not be itemised as new for old, but by the remaining life expectancy of the damaged item. I dedicate this video to Awab Ishak, who lost his life due to mould in a social housing home, aged just 2, due to poor living conditions. May he rest in peace, and may we act against some landlords that jeopardise the health and well-being of ourselves and our families. Thank you for watching. And if you hold a secure tenancy, then please watch part 2, as I will inform you of your rights regarding private nuisance.